I remember telling our manager at the time as well, hey, I think I'm dealing with some depression. And he wanted me to see the brighter side of things. No, y'all are about to go on tour. Y'all got Barbie dolls. What are you talking about? Y'all just signed a crazy big deal with Columbia. I could see myself in a pit trying to get out, just feeling so heavy that when I would make one step, the weight would just pull me back down.
So word on the street is Destiny's Child was a double-edged sword for Michelle Williams. On one side, she was part of one of the most iconic girl groups ever, collecting chart-topping hits like it was nothing. But on the flip side, she was constantly treated like the odd one out. Fans always looked at her like she was just there to fill space, like the third wheel in the group. Even the people managing them made sure she knew she wasn't the first choice, always reminding her how lucky she was to be there. Like folks weren't lined up to snatch her spot. They wanted her to just blend into the background while Beyonce and Kelly got to shine. And every time Michelle did anything, it got picked apart.
You opened up about your insecurities about your singing voice. You even stated that you knew you weren't the vocal favorite of Destiny's Child. Is that something that, what made you second guess?
You know what? It's not that I was second guessing. I'm just aware. You know, some people are like, oh my gosh, it's stuck. They said it stuck with her. No, it didn't stick with me. You know, just sometimes you're aware that you're not everybody's favorite.
Fast forward to now, fans still won't let her breathe, and Michelle is finally speaking up about all the time she got sidelined just so Beyonce and Kelly could take center stage. So, let's rewind for a second. Who is Michelle Williams, really? Most folks only recognize her as the last addition to Destiny's Child, but she was already out here grinding before that even happened. Michelle had deep roots in music. She started singing in church at just 7 years old. Over the years, she developed her own unique voice, shaped by that gospel upbringing. And if you really listen to Destiny's Child songs, you can hear that soulful energy come through in how she sings. At first, music wasn't even her main goal. She enrolled at Louisiana State University to study criminal justice. But 2 years in, she had a change of heart and decided to take her shot in the music world. She hit the club scene and even landed a gig singing backup for Monica. And guess what? That's where her path crossed with Destiny's Child. Talk about divine timing, right? At that point, the group was already going through some serious internal drama, mostly from clashing ideas over direction and management. Destiny's Child originally came together with Beyonce Knowles, Kelly Rowland, LaToya Luckett, and Latavia Robertson. Since LaToya and Latavia were in it from the jump, fans felt close to them. But once the group started blowing up, so did the problems. LaToya and Latavia wanted a new manager, someone who wasn't so deep in the mix with just 2 members. They were accusing Matthew Knowles of keeping a hefty chunk of the group's earnings. What made things worse? They felt like he was clearly giving Beyonce and Kelly the red carpet treatment, while the others got left out. So when LaToya and Latavia walked away from Destiny's Child, folks had questions. Who was going to step in, and how was that group chemistry going to shift? Back in late 1999, Michelle had already bumped into Beyonce and Kelly at a hotel lobby in Atlanta. Nothing came out of it at the time, but at least they had clocked each other. Fast forward a year later, Beyonce started asking around for someone with serious vocal chops, and someone pointed right to Michelle. After all the messy headlines, Destiny's Child brought in Farrah Franklin and Michelle Williams to fill those open spots. Just like that, 2 original members were out, and 2 new faces were in. But Farrah's moment in the spotlight? Blink and you missed it. She barely lasted 5 months before she got ghosted from the promo events and faded out of the picture. That left Destiny's Child as a tight 3-piece. But because Michelle came in during the peak of the drama, fans didn't really know what to make of her. She didn't come from the Knowles family training camp like Beyonce and Kelly did. She was still finding her way in the industry, and back then, hardly anybody knew her name.
You know, when I got into Destiny's Child, it was a moving train. So I was learning as I was going, right? I didn't have a lot of the media training and the development that Beyonce and Kelly had. I came in that group a team player. I came in that group, what do y'all need me to do? Because I knew of these girls who had a dream and an aspect of that didn't work out. How can I come in and help us win? So I always feel like regardless, throughout the years, regardless of what has been written about me, whatever is said about me, I knew my mission. And we had an agreement we're here to win.
And keep in mind, Destiny's Child already had a ride or die fan base when Michelle joined. A lot of those fans were heartbroken over the changes, but still rooting for the group to win. Michelle wasn't fazed though. She kept her head down and stayed on her grind. She built a solid bond with Beyonce and Kelly that turned into something real. She came in when she was called, sang her parts with precision, and stayed professional with management and the crew. Then came Independent Women Part 1 for the Charlie's Angels soundtrack. And y'all, it blew up. That one song locked them in as a powerful trio. With that heat behind them, they dropped their album, Survivor. And if you thought Destiny's Child was already a big deal, Survivor took them straight to the top. It debuted at #1 on Billboard and reportedly sold around 10 million copies worldwide. They were on every stage, every show, pushing that album. And that's really when Michelle stepped into her lane as the bridge queen. The success of Survivor sent the group into superstardom, and finally, folks started paying real attention to Michelle. But not all of it was love.
Not a Destiny's Child stan, but you will not talk bad about Michelle and say that they can have a tour without her. You cannot have a Destiny's Child tour without Michelle. Can you do it without LaToya or Latavia? Yeah, like absolutely. But Michelle, there's absolutely no way that can happen. And Michelle Williams has never met a bridge that she can't cross, okay? That girl was the bridge maker and creator for that. Like there's so many songs that she sung the bridge on that brought it home.
Because standing next to Beyonce and Kelly, Michelle got treated like background noise. Beyonce had the full package deal: vocals, stage presence, and star power. Kelly brought beauty and vocals too, holding her own without question. The girls either wanted to be her, or the guys were all about trying to date her. So when Michelle stood next to the other two, the public was quick to say Michelle just didn't measure up. Beyond not really fitting the group's vibe, Michelle also seemed to lag behind when it came to their singing and dance skills.
Where you at, 106?
Like when I fell on live TV, it took me years to be able to watch that because everybody makes such a big deal about it. And I was like, let me rest when I'm over it.
Yeah.
Okay, it took me a while to get over it.
Why do you think it took you a while?
Because people acted like I was the only human on the planet
To fall. Yeah.
to fall.
Also, when Jennifer Lawrence falls on the red carpet, she's more relatable now.
Again, I can laugh at it now. You know, I'm reminded of it probably. It used to be every week that somebody would like do a meme or something.
Oh, come on.
Beyonce and Kelly had been grinding and training since they were kids, while Michelle kind of just stumbled into the fame and those chart-topping hits. Her dancing was a little stiff, and even though she gave it her all, fans were ruthless about pointing out every misstep. All while hyping up Beyonce and Kelly. Michelle came off a bit awkward and out of sync sometimes, but she wasn't used to being in the spotlight or handling that kind of public shade.
I had to transform myself. It was hard wearing the different types of clothes, and I showed a little bit of cleavage.
She was fine. It took her a while, but she's got it now.
Being part of the group also put her in a box. Sure, it was a big stage to show off, but most of the time she was stuck with singing bridges, ad-libs, or background vocals. So people assumed she only got those parts because she couldn't compete with Beyonce and Kelly. Plus, fans weren't thrilled that Latavia and LaToya were gone and took their frustrations out on Michelle, who really had nothing to do with that drama. As the success rolled in, the criticism started to weigh on Michelle hard. She even told Matthew she felt depressed and needed a break, but he just dismissed her. He told her she had no reason to feel down. The group was killing it. Brands were chasing them, and the money was rolling in. So why was she so sad? Michelle struggled to leverage Destiny's Child fame for herself. Most forget she was actually the first to go solo, and her biggest win was sticking to gospel music, which helped her build a fan base she couldn't get inside the group. Her fourth album, Journey to Freedom, brought her back into the spotlight and did pretty well. It landed at number 29 on the Billboard 200, and the track Say Yes with Beyonce and Kelly was fire, still one of her best-known songs. But even with Michelle doing her thing and staying busy, she never gets the same respect or shine as Beyonce and Kelly. Tons of pages still drag her, showing how she never hit the same level of fame. But lately, it's not just Michelle tired of the jokes. Fans have started coming through to defend her, and honestly, it's about time she got her flowers. I don't think Michelle Williams got the grace and props deserved for coming to Destiny's Child years later, learning everything Beyonce and Kelly trained for since their adolescence adolescence and still was able to carve out a space of her own. The Bridge Queen deserves her roses. People were hard on Michelle for no reason. She had a ridiculous learning curve and then was performing next to two people who had been rehearsing since they were kids. It's unfair what they did to her. I just realized Michelle Williams had to learn the songs for 2 albums, lyrics, harmonies, choreo, and the chemistry of Destiny's Child in just months. I think she's an icon, but seriously, do you think Beyonce and Kelly really outshined Michelle in Destiny's Child? Drop your opinions in the comments, and don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. There's plenty more tea coming your way, and you won't want to miss a single bit. Catch you in the next video.